Serena Williams is not just a tennis legend. She is a force of nature, an icon of athletic excellence, mental toughness, and unapologetic confidence. Serena's story is one of power, perseverance, and purpose. From the courts of Compton to the world's grandest arenas, she has shattered records, redefined greatness, and changed what it means to be a champion. Born on September 26, 1981, in Saginaw, Michigan, Serena Jamaica Williams was the youngest of 5 sisters. When she was still a child, her family moved to Compton, California, a place not known for tennis courts or country clubs, but one that built her toughness, shaped her spirit, and taught her how to fight for everything. Guided by the vision of her father, Richard Williams, Serena and her sister Venus began training on cracked courts with borrowed balls and second-hand rackets. Richard saw greatness in his daughters before the world did, and he prepared them not just for tennis, but for life. As a teenager, Serena was fierce, focused, and unafraid. While others underestimated her, she let her game speak. In 1999, at just 17 years old, she won her first Grand Slam title at the US Open, and the world took notice. But Serena wasn't just here to win, she was here to dominate. Over the next 2 decades, she would go on to win 23 Grand Slam singles titles, the most by any player, male or female, in the Open era. From Wimbledon to the French Open, the Australian Open to the US Open, Serena turned tennis courts into battlefields, and she reigned supreme. Her power, her speed, her intelligence. Serena didn't just play the game. She changed it. She redefined what strength looks like, what grace under pressure feels like, and what a black woman can achieve in a sport that once had no space for her. But Serena's legacy is not only about numbers. It's about moments. It's about that comeback win after giving birth. It's about standing tall after injuries, criticism, and losses. It's about wearing beads, bold outfits, and confidence, even when the world tried to tell her to tone it down. She has faced racism. She has faced sexism. She has been mocked for her body, her voice, her fire. And still, she rose. Over and over again. With power, poise, and the kind of focus that comes only from knowing who you are. Serena once said, "I've had to learn to fight all my life, not just on the court, but for respect." And she fought. Not just for herself, but for women, for mothers, for black girls, for athletes everywhere who dare to dream beyond what society expects. Off the court, Serena has become a powerful businesswoman, fashion icon, and philanthropist. Through Serena Ventures, she invests in women and founders of color. Her clothing line breaks molds and celebrates strength. And her advocacy for maternal health and equal pay has sparked global conversations. As a mother, she brings that same champion mindset into her home, raising her daughter Olympia with love, intention, and pride. Becoming a mom didn't slow her down, it deepened her why. In 2022, Serena announced she would be evolving away from tennis. It was more than a retirement. It was a transition into a new phase of greatness. Because Serena Williams doesn't stop. She reinvents. She expands. She evolves. Her influence has gone far beyond tennis. She has become a global voice for resilience, for ambition, for authenticity. Serena has shown the world that you can be strong and feminine, that you can be graceful and aggressive, that you can win, lose, and win again, with your head held high. Serena Williams didn't just break barriers, she shattered them. She opened doors and walked through them so that millions more could follow. Even as Serena steps away from professional tennis, her influence only grows stronger. She has shown the world that retirement doesn't mean retreat, it means redirection. It means stepping boldly into new arenas, taking the same fearless energy that dominated courts and channeling it into ventures that empower, educate, and inspire. In the world of business, Serena is not just participating, she's leading. Through Serena Ventures, her investment firm, she's helping to close the opportunity gap for underrepresented founders. Over 60% of the businesses in her portfolio are founded by women and people of color. Her goal is clear, to build an ecosystem where talent and vision are what matter most. not your gender, race, or background. This is what makes Serena truly iconic. She doesn't just talk about change. She funds it. She builds it. She is it. In fashion, Serena continues to redefine what beauty and power look like. From walking red carpets in daring gowns to designing bold collections that reflect her identity and values, she has carved a space where athleticism and femininity are not at odds. They are in perfect harmony. Every outfit, every statement, every choice is a declaration. I am here. I am powerful. And I will not apologize for it. In her advocacy, Serena has become a fierce voice for maternal health, especially for Black women. After experiencing life-threatening complications during the birth of her daughter, she used her platform to shine a light on the medical disparities that put Black mothers at higher risk. She didn't hide her pain. She transformed it into purpose. She spoke out so that others wouldn't suffer in silence. Serena's life today is a beautiful balance of strength and softness. She is a mother, a wife, a mentor, a visionary. Whether she's taking her daughter to ballet class or standing on a stage delivering a keynote, Serena brings the same authenticity, the same heart. Her words are more powerful now than ever. The success of every woman should be the inspiration to another. We should raise each other up. And that is exactly what Serena continues to do. Raise others up. Not from a distance, but up close. Mentoring young athletes. Collaborating with fellow women leaders. Showing every little girl who ever felt too strong, too loud, or too different that those very things are her greatest gifts. Serena is the blueprint for what happens when a girl dares to believe in her potential. She has redefined what it means to be a woman in sports, in business, and in life. She has broken the mold, rewritten the narrative, and stood unshaken in the face of history. She has been ranked world #1. She has won Olympic gold medals. She has been a champion again and again, but her greatest legacy may be this. She made space. Space for women to be more. Space for girls to dream bigger. Space for every person to know that no matter where you come from or how many times you fall, you can rise. And not just rise, you can soar. Serena's name no longer belongs to just tennis history. It belongs to global history. Her story has been taught in classrooms, studied in leadership seminars, and celebrated on world stages. But more importantly, it lives quietly in the hearts of millions who see in her a reflection of their own fight, their own strength, their own journey to becoming. In communities around the world, you'll find young girls bouncing tennis balls on sidewalks or practicing their serves with makeshift rackets. You'll find entrepreneurs launching their first products, mothers returning to school, and athletes pushing through setbacks, all with Serena's story echoing in the back of their minds. Because Serena didn't just show us how to win. She showed us how to endure, how to fail, how to heal, how to rise again. And in doing so, she helped redefine what it means to live a life of true greatness. Her life reminds us that greatness isn't always graceful. Sometimes it's loud. Sometimes it's messy. Sometimes it means being misunderstood or standing alone. But Serena taught us that when your heart is strong and your purpose is clear, you don't need permission to be powerful. She has been named among the 100 most influential people in the world. She has stood on the Met Gala steps, graced the cover of Vogue, lit Olympic flames, and walked into boardrooms once closed to people who looked like her. She has done it all while holding on tightly to her identity, her roots, and her voice. And now, in this next chapter, Serena isn't slowing down. She's building brands, building equity, building a future where little girls won't be told, you can't, but instead, look what's possible. Serena has often said, I really think a champion is defined not by their wins, but by how they can recover when they fall. By that measure, Serena is more than a champion. She is a teacher, a warrior, a lighthouse, a revolution in motion. Even without a tennis racket in her hand, Serena still wins. She wins when she mentors. She wins when she invests. She wins when she walks into a room and doesn't shrink. She wins when she speaks truth in a world that often values silence. She wins by simply being Serena. And her greatest win may still be ahead of her, showing us that a woman's power doesn't peak at 25 or 30 or 40. That success can be redefined again and again. That you are allowed to start new chapters, take new paths, and dream new dreams. At any age, at any stage. Because Serena's story is far from over. Her steps now may be quieter, but they are even more powerful. And every move she makes is still breaking ground for those coming next. And maybe that's the greatest lesson Serena Williams has left us with. The courage to evolve. Because while others have tried to define her by numbers, trophies, or headlines, Serena has always defined herself by growth. Not just as an athlete, but as a woman, a mother, a daughter, a leader, and a visionary. She has evolved in front of the world, sometimes gracefully, sometimes defiantly, but always truthfully. She didn't pretend to be perfect. She didn't hide the pain, the pressure, or the tears. And because of that, she became something even more powerful than flawless. She became real. In doing so, Serena gave women permission to be human, to be fierce and tender, to compete and to cry, to win loudly and to fail openly. She showed us that strength is not the absence of vulnerability. It's the choice to keep showing up, even when the world is watching. And the world has watched. Watched her rise from Compton to Wimbledon. Watched her collapse in exhaustion, then stand again. Watched her become the greatest of all time, not just because of her game, but because of her grit, her grace, and her heart. Serena's legacy cannot be contained within stadium walls. It lives in every girl who picks up a tennis racket and believes she belongs. It lives in every working mom who dares to chase her dreams. It lives in every woman who has been told she's too much, and chooses to be even more. She has become a voice for those who didn't have one. A light for those walking paths she already paved. And a mirror, showing us what's possible when you believe in yourself. Completely, unapologetically, and without fear. Today, Serena Williams is not just a retired tennis player. She is an era, a movement, a mindset. And she's just getting started. She's writing books, producing films, building empires, and raising a new generation of changemakers. Her daughter Olympia isn't just her legacy, she's her motivation. Every step Serena takes now is about creating a future where women don't have to fight for space, they own it. Because Serena didn't just break barriers. She built bridges. And one day, when a little girl wins her first Grand Slam, or starts her own company, or walks into a room full of doubt and refuses to shrink, she will say, "I watched Serena." And she'll know she belongs. That is impact. That is legacy. That is Serena Williams. Thank you for watching. Serena Williams' story is not just about a racket and a ball. It's about legacy. It's about believing in yourself even when no one else does. It's about refusing to shrink and choosing to shine instead. She is not just a tennis player. She is a leader, a legend, a living reminder that greatness isn't given, it's earned. And Serena Williams earned it all. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories of women who've changed the game and continue to change the world.